And I think if you have the ability and you have the technology to serve not just the technology, but also the people, it makes patients' life easier, and they can do activities they would not be able to do without this technology available.
In this episode of Embedded Insiders, Erik Kling, President and Head of IoT Americas at Vodafone IoT, discusses the connectivity gaps in remote healthcare and how cellular IoT connectivity supports challenges across industrial, supply chain, and healthcare industries. Next, Editor-in-Chief Ken Briodagh is back with this week's episode of In Case You Missed It, straight from Silicon Labs works with in Austin, Texas. But first, contributing editor Rich Nass joins me to discuss the recent announcements surrounding wearable technology. We discuss the benefits of advanced sensing solutions for wearables like AI glasses and augmented reality, and address some safety and privacy concerns. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Embedded Insiders podcast. I'm Assistant Managing Editor Tiara Oliver, and I'm here with a special guest. You might have missed him, Rich Nass.
I don't know how special I am, but thank you very much, Tiara. Rich Nass, contributing editor to Embedded Computing Design. How you doing, Tiara?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing great. Where's our fearless leader, Ken, this week?
He is on the road.
On the road. Love it, love it, love it. Cool. So what's topic du jour?
It was actually a news item that you sent me, and it was from TDK about them adding smart motion for smart glasses, specifically AI glasses and augmented reality glasses. And I thought it was pretty cool. This is something that's popping up lately, AI glasses, people recording themselves or recording their lives and vlogging as some do. And it's a pretty cool way to film without, having something bulky in your hand. And it's becoming pretty popular, I think.
I couldn't agree more. And I'm actually a consumer of a pair of Ray-Ban Meta glasses, and I love them. Mm-hmm. They're a smidge on the heavy side. So when you wear them if you wear them the whole day, you can definitely feel it on your face after a while. But for what's packed into that, it's pretty incredible. I don't use them for leading edge type stuff. I like to listen to podcasts and music while I'm wearing them, and it's really good for that. The sound is actually quite good. That you get from them, but I also use it for taking pictures wherever we are. I've shot a few videos, more like just extended pictures. Like I'll take a wide angle vista view of something. I don't think I've shot a long video, but I think they're so cool, and the smarts that are built into them, and the one you alluded to, this announcement from TDK, just take that to the next level, adding smarts into the glasses. For example, my glasses always know when they're on my head or not, even if you don't fold them up. If you just pull them off, they know they've been removed from your face. And that's a great feature because it shuts them down and it saves on the battery life. And I think TDK has actually taken that to the next level where they can track the movements of your head. They can tell if you're looking down, up, sideways, or whatever. And that's awesome. But a lot of it is in the software. I know with the glasses that I have, every once in a while, I get a notification that there's been an update to the software, and the AI capabilities are constantly being updated, and they just keep getting better and better. Some of it is on the phone, is on the glasses themselves. Some of it is on the phone that it needs to be connected to if you want to have access to the internet. But it's just very cool stuff. I'm a big believer, and I'm a big fan of these things.
Yeah, it's packed with so many features considering something that's so hands-free. But I also wanted to bring up the point of the privacy and security of these too. I mean, they're cool if you're maybe recording yourself golfing or, on the go and you want to get a cool hands-free video. But what about those scenarios where people may not know you're recording, or even, bringing it to places that you can't record and people have no idea there's a camera on your glasses? What do you think?
The former, I don't have an issue with, because people hold their phones up all the time and they're recording, and
That's
I don't have a
true.
problem with that. But the latter issue, and if you promise you won't tell anybody, I'll certainly tell you a story. I have worn my glasses into more than one place where you're not allowed to record stuff, and I recorded. I'm not posting it anywhere. It was for my own consumption, and hopefully I don't get in trouble for it. But if it's on your face and everybody else is wearing glasses anyway, it's unlikely they're going to know that you're recording. So you can definitely do stuff like that nefariously. Is that the right word?
I think so. Even if you may forget they're on your face because it's an accessory, just like a watch or earpiece or something, you might just still have it on and just be going throughout your day and be like, oops,
Oh, for
forgot.
sure. I mean, I wear them. It is my sunglasses, I wear them all the time when I'm outside. I use them for AI and recording 1% of the time, if that. But I wear them all the time when I'm outside. So I would definitely forget that I have a recording device on my head if if it were to come to that.
Well, I thought this was a really excellent topic for the audience to get thinking about as these devices, this technology is growing and AI is growing. But I guess I want to close it out with asking you a question. How do you see features like this, like real-time, hands-free AI assistants kind of changing the way we interact with technology? Like it's just on us. We're not really exactly, I guess, engaging with it. It's kind of like an accessory to us now.
Honestly, I think the bigger breakthrough, and I hate to change subjects here, but the rings I
Mm,
that are on people's fingers, I think is a much more important breakthrough because of what it could do for people medically, monitoring people's conditions and having AI built into that ring, I think is far more beneficial to somebody, and is someplace we should be looking for advances and are getting advances. I think it doesn't have the cool factor of a pair of sunglasses, but it could literally save somebody's life.
no, that's true. And you're not too far off because in this TDK press release, this these sensors have temperature, or yeah, they have temperature sensors for body temperature monitoring. So we're getting close. We're getting closer.
Yep. Yep, absolutely. I think they're awesome. And if the technology is used correctly, it can be a wonderful thing.
Now, here's Erik Kling, President and Head of IoT Americas at Vodafone IoT. So, Erik, before I get into our questions for today, do you mind giving us some background about yourself and your role at Vodafone?
Yes, no, thank you very much, Tiara. My name is Erik Kling. I'm the president of Vodafone IoT Americas. I'm leading the organization here in that region. I have a long, over 20-year background in IT, IoT, and telecom. I am leading the team here now since 3 years. I'm with Vodafone already now. Time sometimes runs by since 15 years. So that's a little bit about me, Tiara.
Awesome. And I know today we're discussing, connectivity gaps in remote healthcare in the US, and, just speaking about some of the connectivity struggles across different industries.
Yeah.
So I guess my first question would be, in your opinion, what are some of the most significant gaps in remote healthcare in the US today? And why do you believe that we're behind the UK in this industry?
Yes, no, thank you very much. And you said the UK, so we are with Vodafone, a UK-based headquartered mobile network operator. So from our perspective, we are the largest IoT connectivity provider in the globe, with over roughly 250 million devices connected globally, and present 180 plus countries and 760 networks around the globe, which is very, very impressive. And we are the leader in that case. To give a short introduction about Vodafone. Your question about healthcare and remote healthcare, Tiara, I always look at different healthcare sub verticals, and they are treated differently, and they're also interesting to see because the gaps depend on what you do. I call it the first is different disease areas. And when you talk disease areas in healthcare, you talk about CRDM, which is cardio rhythm device management, which is then you're talking about pacemakers, defibrillators for the heart. But you also could talk about diabetes or neuromodulation, sleep apnea, glucose monitoring. These are all kind of healthcare diseases. The second kind is more in regards to clinical trials, which is a little bit of a different use case beneath the question of healthcare and remote healthcare. And the third one I would consider home elderly care. And home elderly care is then a completely different use case, which also has then an influence when you talk about gaps in the remote healthcare. Most of it is really due to the broadband access in rural areas, where you just simply are not getting to it. And that's why I think the cellular capabilities in reaching also remote areas is really key. And the second one is certainly also that you have in healthcare, often the data is in silos as well. And therefore, I think the gaps in remote healthcare can be basically covered by cellular. Secondly, your question about the UK, I would not say that the US is behind the UK. I would say there are different markets. There are different network access criteria. I would even go so far that the US is, I think, leading the innovation when it comes to healthcare. And the US has also the innovation in network technologies when you talk then 4G, 5G. And in the UK, you just have simply a different environment. So to answer your question, I see the US leading in remote healthcare in healthcare. They are also leading in all three different brackets I described when I said diseases, clinical trials, and home elderly care. And depending on what kind of view you have on this in remote healthcare, the answer is a little different.
So what is the purpose of cellular IoT connectivity in this space in remote healthcare? And instead of Wi-Fi, how do you believe, it could improve healthcare use cases?
I think there are three elements to it when it comes to cellular versus Wi-Fi. Number one, and the maybe the most predominant one, is mobility. With cellular, you are able to move your device. The second one is security. You have a completely different security setup when it comes to mobility networks. And last but not least, it's international. So having said this, when you look again at this kind of three different healthcare areas, when it comes to clinical trials, you cannot have any kind of Wi-Fi because the patients are traveling around the globe. You need to be and have access to it wherever you are. When you come to different disease areas, similar. If you have a CRDM case and you have a heart failure, you want to be able to reach the patient independently if he's in vacation outside of the country or he is at home. Home elderly care, little bit different. In home elderly care, usually the patient is stationary. So you're talking not so much about the mobility, then you're talking much more about the security.
So what about those who, maybe believe that Wi-Fi is more affordable and easier to implement? What are some of the challenges that where cellular IoT is prioritized?
I think when it comes, cellular IoT is certainly prioritized when the patient or the disease area demands mobility. There is no option of Wi-Fi. You need to be able to connect the patient on the move, especially for patient critical diseases like a heart failure. You want to be able to make sure you connect instantly, constantly, independently of your location, which could be critical for the patient. That's why I think this is a big case for it, and also the security of the communication as well. When you look at cellular security versus Wi-Fi, we have security by design. Number one, we really follow the standards of security, which basically includes a couple of different standard bodies. And then you're talking ETSI, GSMA, ENISA, 3GPP, where Vodafone is a big, big supporter of any kind of standardization and security protocol. And lastly, we do regular security assessments, IoT security policy management. We do also an IoT test certification and have a lab. And we offer also, of course, advanced security analytics, where there is machine learning embedded and next generation firewalls. So there is a much more, how could I say this altogether, a security constant monitoring you are seeing in cellular, which you don't have on Wi-Fi.
Definitely. That makes sense. Are there any types of healthcare experiences or services that you think 5G will unlock that current tech can't support right now?
Yes. 5G is really a new extraordinary development in network technology, and you see already, and also here to the US UK question you asked before, the US is leading also the network rollout in 5G technology, and it basically lets you connect via ultra low latency and high bandwidth. Examples for that would be a live stream surgery, or a remote expert consultation in the surgery room in the hospital during the procedure, which I think is just unbelievable and a great advancement for also augmented reality assisted procedures in the hospital. And that makes this a reality, which I think makes also the accessibility during operation for expert knowledge a very important element for a success of a surgery. So that's why I'm very, very excited about 5G, and I'm very excited about the new potential we have.
So I believe I received a quote from you that when this was pitched, and you said that healthcare IoT has to connect more than devices. It has to connect people and data and care. And I want to know, in your opinion, what does that look like in practice, especially in, even underdeserved communities?
Yes, a very good point, and I come back a little bit to the categorization I put in at the beginning. When you talk, for example, about clinical trials, you need to connect the patient, you need to connect the people, you need to be able to gather the information instantly for clinical trials, and it's much, much more than that, and you need to connect the people associated with it right away. You also in the remote locations, you need to be able to access the patient on the mobility front again, which is a very, very great advantage of cellular, because also patients in the clinical trials, as well as on the disease area, if you another predominant use case here is certainly sleep apnea. If somebody needs to be monitored while sleeping for his breathing behavior, that is 24/7 monitored. Also here you have the patient in mind, and you have also the connectivity and the technology in mind. And that's also what we stand for, what we do. We want to do with IoT is improve people's lives. And I think if you have the ability and you have the technology to serve not just the technology, but also the people, it makes patients' life easier, and they can do activities they would not be able to do without this technology available.
Definitely. Based on what Vodafone is seeing globally, I kind of just want to know what you expect to see, an innovation in IoT healthcare, maybe in the next few years, the next 5 years, just kind of looking forward to the future.
Yeah. From my experience, now already 20 years in the IoT area, healthcare was always on the leading front. It started always with CRDM devices, cardio rhythm device management, pacemakers. It then went into disease areas. Also, from my perspective, I was not even aware there are existing, which is an amazing development. For example, you see also innovation in just also drug deployment. And we just rolled out with a company called Controland. It's an Icelandic company for real-time temperature and location monitoring for pharmaceutical shipments, which is used for IoT-enabled data loggers. So you are making sure that your medication is received basically real-time. It's monitored on temperature, location, light data, where is the location and transit of shipment, and you're making sure that the patient receives the medication in the condition he really needs to have it, and you are securing the integrity of the medical shipment, which I think is a great innovation. And maybe my last point to it, outside of the US versus inside, I would say that the US is leading the innovation in healthcare globally. Certainly, we can always learn on different use cases around the globe. But from my perspective, the US in healthcare plays a tremendous leadership role when it comes to solution verticals and going to market with it.
Awesome. Erik, I think that's all the questions I have for you today. But as always, is there anything that I might have missed or anything else you'd like to add?
Um, no, I think it was really comprehensive. Yeah, maybe a last comment would be on sustainability.
Mhm.
Also including healthcare, but also other verticals. And when you look at our target, what do we want to achieve? We want to connect. We want to improve people's life. We want to make sure we do in sustainability good for Mother Earth. We do this also with the monitoring I just explained for medical medications and in that sector. And we help to avoid over the last couple of last 12 months, 38.2 tons of CO2 emissions, which I think is great. And
Wow.
since 2020, even 116.5 tons of CO2 emission, which we are very proud of. So sustainability in general is on top of the agenda of Vodafone, where we also are very, very proud of. And secondly, connecting healthcare to improve people's life is what we aim to do, Tira.
Amazing and very well said. Thank you, Erik.
Thank you.
Now, here's Editor-in-Chief Ken Briodagh.
Hello, engineers, developers, and friends. You're watching In Case You Missed It, Embedded Insights. I am Ken Briodagh, Editor-in-Chief of Embedded Computing Design, and I am here at Silicon Labs Works With in Austin, Texas. And in case you are missing it, there is a lot happening here, a lot of news. I'm currently walking around the exhibit hall here where Silicon Labs is showcasing a bunch of their partners, including Mouser and Arrow and Arduino, a lot of their own interesting new tech that they've been announcing and telling us all about here during keynotes and meetings. I've been able to meet with the CEO and CTO and a bunch of other important executives in the company. We've been talking about machine learning, wireless, channel sounding, all sorts of really important tech. Some big announcements that happened during some keynotes early this morning. Series 3 chips are beginning to roll out. They announced the first 2 in the line. You can find all those in our coverage, but they're also tailor-made for the connectivity that Silicon Labs has always done and AI. So Lots of that happening. And in other AI news, there's also some really exciting stuff happening on that front at Silicon Labs. They announced their Simplicity AI platform designed to help with agentic coding and even some virtualization in design. So really, really exciting stuff here in case you missed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure that you subscribe to the In Case You Missed It LinkedIn newsletter, which comes out every Monday on LinkedIn and while you're here on YouTube too, because you don't want to miss any of our shows. Make sure you check out our podcasts, Embedded Insiders and Embedded Executive. Make sure you visit embeddedcomputing.com for all the news that you need to know every single day. In the meantime, I hope you have a lovely weekend.
Thanks for listening to this edition of Embedded Insiders. For more daily news, videos, and podcasts, visit our website at embeddedcomputing.com.